Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone feels a little more energetic and inspired from our conversation yesterday. So if you were not on yesterday, I highly suggest going back on and watching. So as we continue our, I'll say, conquest of the fourth quarter, I want to get into one, like how you really think through and plan all of this. And then we're going to get into executing through Video Studio, because that whole schedule send button is your best friend. Now, one of the things I realized about real estate agents, and me being one of them, because I sold real estate for many moons of my life as well, is that when we have downtime, we all get freaked out. Raise your hand if you ever have downtime. You're like, oh my God, what do I do now? Right? We kind of all get stuck. And we really need to learn how to be planned and purposeful. And, you think about computers, the computer is only as good as the operating system which it runs on, right? So if you look at your iPhone, you notice that they're constantly updating the iOS. And the question is how are we updating our iOSs? And I look at an iOS for a real estate agent is what do you do during your downtime, right? So if you're not super busy and like the market's shifting, we know all those fun headlines that are reality somewhat. What do you do in your downtime? Right? Drop it in the chat. Like when you have downtime during the day, what do you do? Anybody? Going once, going twice. Read, write personal notes, hang out with my daughter. All right, not like actual downtime, like off of work, like when you have work. I often waste it. Email cleanup, research and walk around neighborhoods. Okay, so let's start this process. So number one, I want you to make a list, and this is something good to keep by your desk, right? If you're following the 10-minute business plan, we are going to realize like what income producing activities we did every day, what distractions got in the way, and what you do differently. So you're starting your day now, right? Now you also are going to like look at your calendar. Do most people look at their calendars the night before they go to work? Yes or no? Interested to see. This is going to be a very collaborative, chat heavy conversation. Okay, good. So most of us are saying yes. Now, the question is, when you have downtime. Caitlin, now it's a must. So if you have downtime, you need to fill it in with activities. Now, the way that our brains work is if it's not planned and purposeful and intentional, we get overwhelmed, we don't know what to do, and we'll go back to things that are certainty. So if you think about this, right? If you don't know something, all of a sudden it becomes confusing, right? If something becomes confusing, it feels chaotic and you go back to certainty. So think of those 3 C's, right? If you don't know what to do, it becomes confusing. What do I do now? It almost feels chaotic, overwhelming, and then you go back to certainty, which is just like, let's go play in emails. So you could write this down, productive things to do when I have downtime. Number 1, contact my past clients. Now, here's a couple bullet points under contacting my past clients. Bullet point number 1, define the time you have for the call. Meaning, hey, Liz, I had 5 minutes. I got to my doctor's 5 minutes early and I drove by her. I was just driving by her house and I was thinking of you. How are you doing? If you don't define the time for the call, you could call somebody and they could talk to you for 47 minutes. And you're like, oh, dear God, I just called them. How do I get out of this call? Well, you have to define the boundary. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Number 1, define the boundary. Number 2, always just think, even if you didn't do it, you kind of have to do it in this sense. Antonio, think of something that reminded you of them, that prompted the call. And number 3, ask questions and listen. That's it. Define the time frame, something that reminded you of them, ask questions and be a great listener. and say, hey, I simply just wanted to check in on you and just see how things were going as I thought of you. People appreciate that because when you think of them, they think of you, right? Number two that you could do in downtime is go to the Robert Refkin Action Plan notes library and just write notes from there. You're never going to go bad in writing people notes. And that one, like, those are actually how Robert would write the notes, so they're really good. Number three, personalized video messages. Number four, the KPIs of money. Remember that thing? Because I sure do. Go back and review your budget. At minimum, you should do that monthly check-in, right? Like, how much money I've been spending, what's working, what didn't work, and what could I potentially cut? Go through and answer those 4 questions. Guys, kind of see how all of our stuff is coming full circle here? Like, we want to put it all together for you, right? Number 5, review your data sheet after looking at your money and look at, like, where's your business coming from? What percentage of your GCI comes from each source? And then look at your spending. Be strategic with yourself. Look, I want everyone to go in, like, if I could have like a Disney wish and wave my wand, right? It would be all of you to go into next year with complete clarity on how to operate like a business and not a service. I want business people and business owners and entrepreneurs here. I don't want service providers. We're not service providers. You show up every single day to better yourselves. Like, it's the most inspiring thing in the world. And I was sharing that with a friend of mine over the weekend. He's like, kind of like, what do you do? And how does that work? I'm like, there's like a group of like 100+ people every day that are out here bettering themselves. They're on the calls, they're doing the work, they're growing, they're sharing wins. That's an incredible journey. And you guys all should be incredibly proud of yourself. Regardless of what is happening, you're putting in the work. And when you put in the work, in the end, it always works out in your favor. It always will. You don't know when what you learn will come in handy, right? So it's like you have to be prepared for the situation and not get prepared when the situation happens. Thank you, Cindy. It's, so go through your data sheet. And lastly, go through and review your distractions and what you're going to do and change it, right? Like, look at that stuff actively. Listen, understanding how to become a self-improvement wizard is one of the most important skills you could have. Think about it. If you follow that system, you're literally on your own figuring out what gets in the way and how you could be better every single day. And by the way, I would use this in your personal life too. Think about it. If I want to spend uninterrupted time with my kids and I start writing down everything that stops that every time it happens, do you think it's going to happen for more than 2 weeks? Probably not, because I'm like, wow, like, this is where I'm going wrong. And you just automatically start thinking about it differently, right? So we can contact our clients. We could write handwritten notes. We could send proactive videos, right? Because we're doing this for Thanksgiving. We can review our financials. We could look at our data sheet to see how they correlate to make sure that we're spending our time, money in the right places. And number 6, we can review our distractions and everything. And ultimately, I'll add a bonus number 7. Look at your schedule and ask yourself, does my schedule and the way that I'm spending time reflect my goals? I literally called one of my senior team members yesterday, and I said to her, I go, in a conversation I had, I was looking at my roadmap because I already have pretty much my whole year planned for next year. And I realized in my calendar that I'm not spending enough time with the team supporting them and what they're doing. Right? Because, like, if I looked at my calendar, it's all filled with client meetings, and that doesn't really always work out, right? I'm talking to my team members, but I'm talking to them in real time about things that we're actively working on that require my time and everything like that. But to build a better business, you need a better infrastructure. And most real estate agents know how to sell houses really well, but don't know about infrastructure. So think about it. If you're a business owner, you have to be the CEO of your business. You have to think about these things, especially since the economy shifts. This is a time that you can't afford not to do these things. right? And it's like, if you think about it, I know this from the chat and just offline comments that people say, no one's ever taught agents this stuff. It's like, to me, it's like very disturbing, right? It's like, how do you expect people to run a business like this where they're literally laying out time and money every single day with no guaranteed return, but there's no back end infrastructure here? Literally, when you have time down, that you should be firing ahead and getting ahead on these notes and these calls and everything else like that. And if you're going to plan out, how many people want to follow this plan? And hit yes in the chat. We're going to get out all of our Thanksgiving videos. You guys, wait, this is, everyone's like, yes, this is good. We want to get out all of our Thanksgiving videos. We want to be planned and purposeful about the holidays and New Year's. And then by then you'll have spoken to these people because you've had all these touch points, and then want to plan an event in January with your clients. But then all of these things are lined up like dominoes that just fall. So write the word event if you want us to do a session on giving you a framework on planning an event, right, for January that is in alignment with all these things. And enough people hit it, we'll go ahead and we'll actually set the session up. Because look, we want to make sure that we provide continuity here, right? I don't want these sessions to be these one-off sessions where it's like you're figuring out how to put a complicated puzzle together. I believe that's our job, right? So now that we have the 6 things, let's go through and start really looking at this video system and how we're ultimately going to do it. Just where'd my window go? All right, so we're going to go here. We're going to go to my name. And by the way, this is great things to sell and likely to sell as well. So I'm going to go to marketing, video studio, add video. So we're going to record from a desktop essentially. So there are a couple things that you have to know. This message here is how you catalog your videos. So I would say TG video Antonio, right? Pretty simple. I'd start recording. Hey, Antonio, in a time of giving thanks, I just thought of you and want to share this message. I've been appreciative of our friendship and how supportive you've been from the time that I was a Compass employee till today. You're always kind, thoughtful, and one of the first people to always advocate on our behalf. And in a time of giving thanks, I was just thinking about you and want to share my gratitude. I know you're really busy with your family and getting prepared for a big Hamptons Thanksgiving, so no need to respond. Just wanted to send you this quick note, Chirag, or hope all's well. Talk soon. Hey, Antonio, in a time of giving thanks, just thought of you and want to share this. So that's it, right? And I would hit upload then. I wish I could play the Jeopardy music right now. Hey, Antonio, in a time of... So look, now if I wanted to download the video for myself, I could do it. I could email it from here. You can enable subtitles. I don't know how well this actually works, but you try it. Now you can create a social post, or that's it, right? So now if I go back here, the video library is right here. So now I want to... So now if I click the video, I'd be right back. Hey, Antonio. So after recording it, I would click email. That would be my subject line. Instead of check out this video, I would put something that said, I recorded Click here to view the video and make it simple for the person. And that's it. And like, if I wanted to be really slick, I would hit no signature and I would say sent from my iPhone. Excuse the typos. Correct. Now I would hit this send all later button and I would go to November 23rd and hit 9 a.m. Hit save. And that's it. And that is the process of recording and sending a video. Capitalize the P. Thank you. And if you record from your phone, you can also text it, right? So subtitles do work. That's awesome. So Suze, who's commenting on the chat, used to be a marketing advisor at Compass. So she's full of lots of golden nuggets. And look, the reason I say do it is do it on a computer is because if you're sitting in front of your desktop, you can be more comfortable. Wendy Moore is like a Reels wizard. Like we can all learn from her, me included. But doing this can get complicated and everything else and the setup. So for most of us, right, I would do it through a desktop just to make it simple for you. So now let's get into. Now hit yes. I would email the video, right? You could text it if you want. David, anything is best that you're willing to do. I use the video emails often. I would just test it. Sometimes people are like tech illiterate or they're clicking, Scott, the actual thumbnail instead of clicking that button to play the video because the image gets created. But send yourself it and look at what the client experience is like and then you could write it. So hit yes if you plan on sending the Thanksgiving videos, just so I have an idea of how many people actually want to do this. I would hope all of you, right? So now let's go through time blocking this. This will be one of the greatest marketing things you'll ever do. Just listen, don't get caught in this whole text or email thing. Doing it works. I would do it to all my past clients, but I would start. Okay, so let's talk about steps to get started. Number one, start sending it to your most recent sales first and work backwards year by year. So this way, if you miss people, it's not the ones that are like just bought with you. They're probably going to be the happiest to refer you, right? Number two, it's a math equation. If I have 20 working days and 140 people, I have to do 7 videos a day. Right, Doug? Pretty simple. We'll get it done. Listen, math is on your side, right? And like, I was listening to a reel the other day, and the guy was saying it is mandatory in his house that people read 20 pages a day. He's like, as soon as my kids get old enough to do anything, I had them read 20 pages a day. Because the reality is, if you read 20 pages a day, that's, what's that, 10 times 30? That's 600 pages a month, right? And that means you'll read 24 books on average a year. Yep. Pat, but David, he's the best, right? So think about that. Imagine you were reading 24 books a year around a specific topic. Do you think you'd be a master at it? Of course. But if I told you I was going to read 24 books in a year, it feels overwhelming. 20 pages a day does not feel overwhelming. And even someone like me who like reads it like hooked on phonics speed, very slow. So if you think about this, it's a math equation. So you want to be prepared. Know who you're sending the videos to. Dress accordingly. Have great lighting and good sound. And number 5, the most important one, test the video to see how it looks in email with the lighting and everything else before you start sending it to your clients. It depends, Scott. Maybe you can wear your 6 a.m. hoodie. I don't know what your clients are like. You don't even have to do it. You could send to me. You could actually send the email and go through the whole process after recording the video and everything, be done with it. So how good does that feel when you get done with all 7 of these videos? You hit schedule, send, and you send them all out. And it's done. And literally when you wake up, it's after. Do we send separate emails to husband and wife? It depends on your relationship. If you're really close with the wife and you barely had communications with the husband, then I would send it to the wife and I just copy the husband on it. Remember, here's the other thing that you want to look for: overlays, right? Sometimes we think about things so much, we think ourselves out of even doing the simple action and the person doesn't even get benefit from it. All I know is if somebody sent me a video, right, and it reminded me of a personal memory and they thought of me, I'd be really happy. I got to look at my email. Someone sent me a sunset yesterday because they remembered that they remembered me sharing in the group how much I love sunsets and sunrises. Dimitri is the one who sent it. So like little things like that. But now that I said his name out loud with this, I'll forever remember it. On the next call, I'll say Dimitri in South Florida sent me a sunset, right? So make sure you're using the client's first name in the video so they know it's a personalized message. Yep. I'm having a hang up that this isn't personal enough. Can you help me overcome this? Okay. So if this is not personal enough, well, if not sending them anything is not personal at all, correct? And listen, this is why active listening, Tiffany, this is why active listening is so important. I know you're a great active listener. So you have to take things that you heard them talk about and repeat them back to them in the video. And they're like, oh my God, she listened to me. That's like the whole trick to this.
Can I just say, so I call my clients and text them all day. And this is a issue everybody shares with me, that like I have a pretty crazy personal life because I'm constantly calling and texting every client, and I get 10, 20 referrals from my clients commonly. So I think for me, like sending a video to me feels like a step down. Like, why would you just call me?
Hi, Tiffany. In a time of giving thanks, I thought of you. Just wanted to share this quick message. I love speaking with you on the phone. I enjoy our text messages, but I really just wanted to share with you that you're very thoughtful, you're very kind, you're very present. And I can't tell you how much your friendship means to me, and that you always think of me when you're thinking of your friends making a move. So I know you're really busy and I didn't want to take time out of your day, so no need to respond, but I wanted to make sure to share this message, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and no need to respond, and we'll talk soon. Sound better?
Okay, that helps.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Look, you gotta remember this, right? When you're talking to people and you're like, look forward to speaking with you, and you do that, you literally create pressure for the person to have to get back to you. When you say to somebody, listen, I know you're really busy, but I wanted to share this message, so no need to respond, it makes it all about them and nothing to do with you. It's like when we talk to our buyers, and you're going to say, look, whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%. Now let's go through the market based on your goals and your expectations and see if it makes sense for you. These are skills that you can learn. Listen, there's this saying, and this used to work really well till the person figured out what I was doing. A lot of times you ever ask people, hey, what do you want to eat? I don't know, right? Where do you want to go to eat? I don't know. And it's really because it's not that a lot of times they don't know, it's that they don't want to be wrong. And so I heard in a training tape one time, it's like, I understand you don't know, but if you did know, what would it be? And then the people start answering, oh, I'd love to go for pizza. All right, cool, let's go for pizza. So it's a lot of times putting these little things together to make big results. Now, let's go to recap now. These are the steps on making video. Then you need to figure out, okay, the first time, like block off an indefinite period of time, like 60 to 90 minutes, right? And then figure out if I'm doing 7 videos or 10 videos, how long does this how long does this take me to do? And then from there, you now have a framework and a time block to work backwards to get this all done in time. And the key to doing this is not jumping up and down every time your phone pings, dings, or rings for the next person that calls you that wants something, because you're not working on demand. Have we made this simple for you? I hope so. Look, we're just getting momentum started. Our office will be ready in, I'm told, by November 15th. That's the date. The sheetrock is up on the walls. It looks absolutely insane in there. And I'm excited for people that are here to stop by, like Liz Flavin. You're local, so you'll probably get to see it before a lot of the other people that are not. So like, if you're in the tri-state area, we're looking forward to people to come visiting. And the funny joke that people have is, they're like, who besides you builds an office with no idea who's going to come there, but knows that lots of people will be there? Chirag Shah right here, the uber optimist for people. And look, are things going to get more challenging next year? 100%. But the best thing to do as this happens is to be in momentum and be prepared. Be excited and full of energy to go into this market shift. There's going to be so much bad shit that people talk about. It's going to be happening. You know, as David says, what's true for you is true for you. This experience is anything you want it to be. But while everybody's going backwards, we can be strategic, right? Like at the end of all of this, if you can control your habits, your behaviors, improving yourself, learning how to work planned and purposefully, how to fill in your downtime, how to block your days off in advance, how not to be distracted, how to make sure you're doing things to produce income so 3 months later you don't have closings, right? Like that you're constantly in momentum. It's just you keep doing the activities, because the system will produce what the system will produce over the course of a year. But people don't follow the system long enough for that to happen. So we all good on this? I feel like between yesterday and today, we had a lot of good stuff in productivity, mindset, and real tactical things we can do. You got to remember, everything you need is on this platform. And if you actually follow our CSC system on it, it is the most simple way to integrate all the tools in there. Every time that somebody tells you something or you tell them something, it's a promise. Just make a note and create a task. Every time you do something, update in Business Tracker, because it's a collaborative place where people can work and you could organize your whole transaction. Now, the reality is then what do I have to do? I just have to wake up, go on compass.com, look at my tasks. If I catalog all the conversations I had with Mary Murphy and I need to now write her a video, I just go, I look at my notes. It's like the front desk of the Ritz-Carlton. That's my system. I look at all my notes. I learn about her. And I know that she likes to come to 2 sessions, that she's all in, that she's a doer. And these are certain things that she likes and the things that she doesn't like. It's very easy for me to communicate with her. We need to start thinking of our business more macro and like an infinite game. Infinite players win against finite players every single time. And the sad reality is the majority of people in real estate are finite players. They're just playing for a deal. So with that thought, with always love in my heart, I love you all. Please make sure to fill your downtime with meaningful activities. Do not check out in the next few months. We need momentum. This is a time to move faster. So we'll see you all next week in Atlanta. I can't wait. I posted on my Instagram today, like a picture from our Boston event. I could not be more excited about our business planning session that we're doing. It's going to be incredible. So I shall see you all soon. Bye, everybody.